Hello everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through an unboxing of the Figurized Standard Magnamon. And Magnamon is from Digimon, which I'm actually surprised isn't shown in English on the box, but there you go, it's Digimon, Digital Monsters. And this was released by Bandai in 2022, which is the current calendar year for when this unboxing is being recorded. So this particular model kit I did get from Hobby Link Japan, so I will include a link to Magnamon as well as I dare say some of the other Digimon related Figurized Standard sets out there as well, because there is a few now, and I have done a few reviews in the past, well, unboxings in the past. I actually have yet to build one. Magnamon could be one of the first few, because unlike the amplified ones, it's a bit simplistic. Well, comparatively to the amplified. I'm not saying it's a simplistic kit, but anyway. Enough about that. Here we have the front of the box for Magnamon with a nice piece of artwork of Magnamon in a very striking pose. So it's a very nice bright cover. So that's really cool. Now because it doesn't have amplified up here, it will be, I will actually say, more animation correct than the amplified ones, which tend to beef it up a little bit. Bottom of the box, if it ever decides to zoom in. So we have a few more shots of Magnamon. There is a little bit of a blurb here. Let's see. Camera's not wanting to behave today. What do we have? The neck, limbs, tail and armor have a wide range of articulation. The elbows and knees are divided according to the body structure of the Digimon, creating a natural silhouette that enables dynamic poses and the recreation of scenes from the series. That may or may not be a bit of a tall order if it's suggesting there's a good amount of articulation, but we'll see in time. Some other poses on the bottom of the box, and there is another little bit of text about the shoulder here, which says the internal parts on the shoulder armor have been recreated in ways faithful to their settings. They have independent movable axes to achieve both movable shoulders and freedom when creating poses. That does actually sound quite cool. So if it has been done to that effect, that's really cool, because you would actually hate for the shoulders to be in a fixed position and keep clashing with the rest of the arms and the body when trying to pose. So that is the bottom of the box. Side of the box, the usual picture image, which is recreation of the front. And on the very top we have front and rear view of Magnamon. We have a shot of Magnamon as he would be straight out of the box, which doesn't seem too bad. Honestly, I think the only thing that's missing is just a bit of detailing. It looks like a lot of the colors are on point. And we also have a bit of a blurb about Magnamon. Featured in Digimon Adventure 02 TV animation series. So I think this is the second season when they needed to get the crests, eggs? I can't remember. I haven't watched Digimon in a while, and I really should. So that was a look outside the box. In terms of inside the box, what do we have? 1, 2, 3 bags of runners, and the manual is tucked away at the bottom. So I'll open up the bags, and then we can have a look at the runners, the stickers, and the manual. And with everything out of the box, front of the manual for Magnamon in a nice full-sized picture of Magnamon from top to bottom. Once again, that blurb about Magnamon at the top, and yes, it was the Digi Eggs. So I wasn't too far from the truth, I was just getting a bit confused. So front of the manual, back of the manual. So we have a lot of these poses of Magnamon once again that we did see around the box. There is some commentary about the posing, and then there's some commentary about the external armor. So if I remember correctly, a lot of these external armors was bestowed by the Digi-Egg to actually help them digivolve because of reasons. We do also have a color guide at the bottom, which is basically white, grey, blue, red and gold. I will admit I just saw the wording for red and internally chuckled. Yes, red matter. Anyway, probably more amusing than it should be. Opening up the manual, do have the parts lists. Basically, we're doing everything in duos, so 2 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's, and a sticker sheet. Build-wise, fairly straightforward, not overly complex, given Magnamon is taking on more of a anime aesthetic and not so much a amplified aesthetic. So start with the head, body, right arm and left arm, right leg, which will then spill over to the left leg, the waist, the tail's part of the waist, and then put everything together, strike a pose, and there will also be a action base connector within his back. So not an overly complex build, and as we'll see from the runners in a bit, definitely doesn't feel like there's a lot. So that was the manual for Magnamon. In terms of the stickers, fairly nice small sticker sheet. Eyes are pretty much a given. I think 3, 4 and 5 are just some color correcting, and I wasn't paying attention to where 6 goes, but not too sure where 6 goes. We'll find out soon enough. So those were the included sticker sheets. Yeah, as for the runners, we do have a A1 and a A2, which I will do this way only because there is some carryover between A1 to A2, which is to be expected. No doubt this is what happens to get your lefts and your rights. Otherwise, the top of A1 will probably have parts unique for the head, and the bottom of A2 probably bits of the torso and the waist. Now, this is actually supposed to be in a gold color, and it actually doesn't look that bad. I do feel Bandai do seem to be improving on their gold injection. Like, it actually feels like a nice gold, as opposed to some of the earlier golds, a la Strike Freedom, where it was a little unrefined. We'll stick with that. So those are the 2 A runners. As for the 2 Bs, B1 and B2, is there overlap? I don't believe there is. So, as I mentioned, both of these runners are in blue. B1 probably, well, based on what I can see, I'm assuming upper legs and maybe bits of the arms. And I'm assuming B2 will probably have a bit more of the legs. In fact, there is duplication. My bad. Let's try this again. So B1 and B2 do have some carbon copy syndrome happening. The top of B1 is probably hands and I dare say upper legs. The bottom of B2 looks to be probably a bit of the head, waist, tail. and the rest would be for any extra lefts and rights. So B1, B2, both in blue. Now C1 and C2. Now I do not believe there is duplication, although it does probably look that they may have shared the same injection frame at some point in time. So C1 will be in grey, C2 will be in white. Now I suspect C1 will probably have bits for the shoulder armor. C2 I think is for the waist. Now it's actually quite interesting that the emblem for the relevant Digi-Egg is actually going to be within the plastic. So that will actually come through the relevant piece of armor. And this other piece here, not that it's showing up really well, does seem to have some decent detailing on it. I'm not sure where that piece comes into play though. But that's C1 and C2 in those two different colours. And then lastly we do have a Polycap Runner PCF6. No doubt this will be fairly unique to Magnamon. And that brings us to an end of the unboxing of Magnamon. Decent number of runners. Based on what I saw, I would hazard guess it's probably a very quick and straightforward build. It's just a case of finding the time to do it. But I really do want to try and do a Digimon kit in the near future. Magnamon may very well be the first, even though I do have Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon somewhere. Yes. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Magnamon was from HobbyLink Japan, so definitely check out the product links in the description if you want to have a browse and see what type of costings you're dealing with. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link below. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. See ya.